What if I showed you 6 overpowering reasons people preferred OnDeck over any other platform? How about getting a super fast business loan with same day approval and without having to go through a bank getting denied time and time again? Hi, welcome into this OnDeck review where I'm Michael from Viral Home-Based Pursuits and Viral Funding Solutions. We'll be uncovering all there is to know about this platform, such as who they are, their processes like their application, the terms, the rates, and so much more like pros and cons, alternatives. So by the time you're done watching this video, you'll finally know how to power forward with building, growing, expanding, and even getting out of a tight pinch. But before I get started, if this is the first time you're watching me, I do come out with videos on all types of financing solutions, alternative lending, so many different opportunities to take advantage of, and a lot more. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click the bell notification icon so you don't miss a future video I come out with. Let's get right into it. You're looking at the OnDeck home page, and what I'm going to do for you is I have a blog post I published as well on this. So I'll link to this down below in the description if you want to view that format. And we'll also use it as a guideline so I don't miss anything. Now we'll go down here. We see A+ rating with the BBB, 13 billion delivered to businesses globally, 4.8 out of 5 customer rating on Trustpilot. So at this moment, we are in good standing. It's showing a little bit of proof. It's showing, it's backing up about their credibility and what they can deliver. Now we're going to go in a little bit deeper and look at the different types of financing solutions because I know you want to know what they offer. So just stick with me here. So your business needs options. We've got different loans available for you. So they have a line of credit, and I'm going to use this as a guideline again, and I'm going to get into a little bit more about what these are and what would be the best way for you to move forward. So used for managing cash flow, such as buying inventory or making payroll. Get a revolving credit line with access to cash when you need it. And we'll learn more about it in a second here, but you can see loan amounts of 6K to 100K. There are 12-month repayment terms, resets after each withdrawal. That's what a revolving line of credit is. You only take out as much as you would like to and use it for, as working capital, what you need it for equipment. There are certain reasons. You may not want a lump sum, and that's what a line of credit allows you to do. It's different than just getting a business credit card, okay, and then just like maxing that out and then making purchases and making the payments on it to build that business credit and to move forward. A line of credit takes it a step further. It can help you build your credit at the same time, and it also helps you take out what you want. So if you get approved, for example, you get, since here it's a loan amount up to 100K, you get 80K and you want to take out a little bit, maybe each season, then you want to take out 10,000 one month, and you only pay interest on what you take out. So that's how a line of credit will work if you're fairly new to that. OnDeck term loans, used for investments in your business, such as expansion, projects, or larger purchases. Get a one-time lump sum of cash upfront with the option to apply for more when you're halfway paid down. Loan amounts, 5K to 250K, repayment terms up to 24 months. So a little bit about how the term loans work. These are short, okay, and that's what you're going to see commonly online is a lot of short-term solutions, these traditional MCA, short-term business loans with revenue-based funding type of solutions. And what you expect is you're going to get, if you were requesting 100,000, you may or may not get that depending on how your cash flow looks. What's your revenue doing like every single month? What's your sales like? What has it been like in the last 3 months? We might take your lowest amount and then factor that in. We'll look at FICO scores and see where you're at there. But for a lot of the time, we look at how is your revenue? How's the cash flow? How is sales month to month? And if you're somebody who's been impacted by COVID, we'll go into that in a little bit, but I get it all the time and I hear it. Well, I've been doing this much pre-COVID, and now that COVID hit us, we're doing very little or to nothing. We're trying to get back up and running. And the thing is, with this, you have to base it off of what's currently going on. we can see the projections and we can evaluate what you want to do and what you think you can get in the upcoming months or years. But we can only go as far as seeing what you're doing now, and we get it. You know, you've been through some trouble, and I've been in the situation like yourself, and I empathize with you, and I know that it's difficult, but these kind of measures have to be taken in. So keep that in the back of your mind. And we'll go into these a little bit deeper here in just a second. So the perfect combo of speed and service, and it's easy to get started. Step one, you complete the application. Pretty simple. You can apply online or over the phone. Step two, you get a decision. Step three, you receive your funds. That's it. Just a simple 3-step process. Receive your funds as soon as the same day. Minimum eligibility requirements for an OnDeck term loan or line of credit. So we're seeing here the minimum requirements, time in business. You need 1 year. And I know that might not be a solution, and that might not be something you want to hear right now, but stick with me. I'm also going to present to you an alternative solution where you can get up to 25,000, even same day instant approval with as low as a 450 plus FICO, as opposed to here where it gives you a personal FICO score of 600. Business annual gross revenue, 100K. Business checking account, yes, that's what you got to have here for OnDeck. But if you're currently thinking, well, I need an alternative solution, I want to know what can help me move forward. I don't think I can meet these requirements, at least now, maybe in time. What do you have for me, Michael? Like, okay, now there's a program where you can get up to 25,000 same day instant approval with as low as a 450 plus FICO with 6+ months in business. So that's less, that's 4 months less than a year. And you can even get up to 2 million with just 4+ months in business that you meet the requirements of revenue, just bringing in 5,000 plus per month within the last 3 months. And if you want to get up to 2 million, 20,000 plus per month in sales within the last 3 months with a few other details in there. That'll be down below in the description. Make sure you check out that alternative if you want to learn more about them. And there'll be more resources there as well. So now let's go a little bit more. You have people you can connect with, a loan advisor who's available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And here's what business owners like you are having to say. These are ones picked off on Trustpilot. Easy and fast been using OnDeck for years. I called to renew my loan and Brittany was very helpful. She got it done within 2, and then it goes a little bit further. We'll go into the reviews in a little bit later. Quick and easy process. Jack Hernandez is my rep. He's always been there for their business. And there's a lot of them if you go through here. As a new small business, as a little over a year established, finding funding options, and this person was saying how it was difficult, but OnDeck was able to help them. Our advisor was helpful. Jonathan did a great job for me, and the list goes on and on. So now let's go into some of these loans here. And let's start with, I'm going to go up here to business loans. I'm going to click on term loan there. So stick with me. I knew I said I gave you the 6 reasons to go with OnDeck, and we'll cover that after I go through these because I know you want to look at that. So short-term loans for small business. Every business is different. You can customize on OnDeck short-term loan to meet your needs. It's a great option for borrowers who need funds for a specific business investment, like you're starting a new project, expanding, you're in that growth phase, or making a large purchase that can be covered with a normal credit card. As a type of installment loan, an OnDeck short-term loan offers a one-time lump sum of cash for you to use for your business, how you see fit. You'll have your funds in your bank account as early as a day your loan is approved, and you can pay it back on your schedule to match your specific project timeline. So about these, you know it's 5K to 250,000, repayment terms up to 24 months, automatic daily or weekly payments. Now I know you're thinking, how about monthly? Why don't I get those types of payments? This is the thing with revenue-based funding, with working capital online. For the most part, you have to expect it to be daily or weekly. Sometimes it can be bi-weekly, but monthly, it's not so much of the case as it used to be. There are still some out there, but are much harder to get. You know how hard it can be to get an SBA loan if you haven't been approved for one. And even if you haven't gone started, I've been on top of that, and it's not easy for anybody to go through that. And the time it takes to get it, the approval rates, loan officer decrease, government restrictions, and some things that are happening with changes, and it's pretty difficult for people to get it. You know, you got to think about personal and business information, and and so much more that involves in it. I won't cover that in this video, but I have other content on that. You can look down below in the description to view up-to-date information on all of that. But this way you don't go into a default. Let's say you can't make the payment at the end of the month. It's a huge lump sum. And this is what happens at times, especially when you're having interest rates in play and there are additional fees. It can fluctuate, especially with the traditional merchant cash advance, if that were the case. And this would not allow you to ever get funding online ever, because this is reported to all the different cash advance companies, all the different loan companies online, and they get to see you on record, on file, and they'll think, well, this person wasn't able to make that payment for some reason, and now you can't get funding ever again. There may be some lenders, it's very minimal, who will allow you a second chance, but they'll give you shorter terms and they'll say, hey, you got to pay this amount back, and you don't want to go down that route. You can't avoid it, do so. So benefits to your business, same day funding. So let's kind of go over some of these highlights. We covered a little bit about what OnDeck is about, an alternative lending company focused on helping your small business get the right type of loan. To do so much with it, the OnDeck CFO is Howard Kattenberg. OnDeck timeline, 2006 was funded all the way down to today, 13 billion extended to small businesses and counting. Why OnDeck? Here are 6 of them, faster than the bank. It can take days, weeks, and even more to get funding through them. But with OnDeck, you can apply in as little as 10 minutes and receive a decision as soon as today. Tailored loans, unlike many online lenders handling one or a few loan types, OnDeck has multiple ones. The ones they specialize in are like revenue-based funding, as I've been mentioning time and time again. And that's basically, again, where you're looked at on your cash flow from month to month. And we are likely going to want to see the last 3 months of bank statements. The thing that OnDeck does a little bit differently than anywhere else is they look through your tax statements and things like that. They want to know what's been happening there. And it's a little uncommon, but that's something that they do. So merchant cash advances and even SBA PPP loans, their amounts and repayment terms can be set to your needs as well. Real people to help you. If you have a question, you have a loan advisor there. Transparent pricing with the SmartBox capital comparison tool, which we'll get in a little bit. You will get a fully comprehensive breakdown of your cost of capital, including all the key terms you will need to evaluate potential loan offers. Loyalty benefits: as a returning OnDeck customer who takes out another loan, OnDeck will waive all remaining interest on your current loan, unlike most lenders who will not do that. Over 80% of customers come back for more financing needs, and this is one of the reasons they do that, because they waive it. But it's more because you've built a relationship with them and you know you're getting the right type of lending and you want to come back to get even more. So if you're on good terms with the lenders, they'll do that, and you'll see that all across the board. So business credit building: unlike most online lenders, OnDeck uses soft pulls out of personal credit reports, which doesn't affect your credit score. So don't worry. OnDeck will report your payments to the Business Credit Bureau so that every time you pay on time, you're building your business credit. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't want to necessarily have that, I get it. You might be new to all this, but this is just how it works. There are different companies if you don't want to have it reporting to like D&B, Dun & Bradstreet. Even with the main credit bureaus out there, there are alternative solutions. I'll leave those down below in the description, but this isn't so much of a big deal. But I'll leave some of those down below so you can check out. It'll be like one of the very first links to the alternatives to look for, and there should be like more content on it. So let's go back over here. Oh, one thing too I want to mention. If you haven't picked up my free 6-step pre-approval alternative lending checklist, this will show you step to step how to get organized before you walk into an application. You sit down in your computer, you fill it out, and you know for 100% certainty you are going to get approved without wasting time. We're talking about days, weeks, months, and years having to wait for approval, or having to flip back and forth, getting declined time and time again. This will help you understand what lenders are looking for. And there's a lot of bonus content in there as well. So it'll be down below in the description. Make sure you pick that up. Now, coming back to this, loyalty benefits, business credit building. We talked a little bit about these already. A short-term loan can solve your specific business needs. So 4 ways to use them, like we've already spoken about before: financing, marketing campaigns, investing in renovations, expanding to a new location, reopening your business. It's simple process to go through. And I have a little bit of information here as to like APRs. Expect there to be 8.5% to about 79%, more or less. That number can be higher now because of what's happening through COVID and some of the things there. So what is same-day funding? Same-day funding is as simple as it sounds. It allows you to receive funds in your account as early as the day you finalize your term loan with OnDeck. There's no special enrollment and no additional cost. So don't worry about any type of hidden fees with an application. It doesn't hurt your credit score or any of that. And we'll look at this in a little bit more. But how does payback work? Paying back your term loan with OnDeck is easy and hassle-free with automatic bank account deduction, so you don't have to worry about missing a payment. The daily or weekly payment is based on the amount and term length of your financing and is intended to be a manageable number based on the information you've provided within your application. So this is what's going to happen. When you go through the application process, before you accept the contract of your terms, you're going to see, okay, what's my length? How much in daily payments do I have? And then you'll be given how much you can expect to pay back depending on the time period. So I can't say for sure what will happen. I can only give you some specific scenarios, but when I talk to you about all this, I can give you and I can draw up some numbers to approximate things. But one thing too, if you do not want to deal with interest rates, if you don't want to deal with the APRs, the factor rates, additional fees that are added, then I highly recommend you check out one of my alternative solutions that I highly recommend here, and it is called David Allen Capital. You can get up to 2 million. This is the one where you can get up to 25,000 same day instant approval with no interest rates. That's right, we calculate on total payback, meaning we give you between 1.19x to about 1.69x of your advanced amount to pay back. So 25,000 you were given, then it's between 1.19 to 1.69. You multiply that. On average, you can pay between 1.35 to 1.49, more or less, depending on the amount of risk you have, your revenue, what's your credit score like, and additional details and stuff like that. But you can even get up to 25,000 with as little as 5,000 plus monthly bank revenue, 6 months in business, 450 plus FICO credit score. And we work a little bit here and there with OnDeck. So we'll work with some of the lenders there. But we're a little bit more flexible with who we can send you to and what they can approve for. So Smartbox, transparency is key when it comes to choosing a lender. That's why OnDeck developed this tool in plain English and easy to read format. This tool shows you key terms you need to evaluate potential short-term loans offers that you have a comprehensive standard breakdown of your cost of capital. Smartbox is used by all members of the Innovative Lending Platform Association. How much will it cost? Interest rates starting at 35% annual percentage rates. The total cost of your short-term loan will vary based on a number of factors, including your personal and business credit scores, time in business, and annual revenue and cash flow, which is what to expect with anybody. Can I get a short-term loan if you have bad credit? Doesn't necessarily offer bad credit loans. However, a bad credit score doesn't always mean you cannot qualify. Our short-term loans can provide you an alternative source for funding for borrowers who have had difficulty getting approved for credit cards and traditional installment loans. So we get to see the requirements there: 1 year, 600 FICO, 100K, business checking accounts. So if you do not have that type of a FICO credit score, they will see what additional services they can give you. They might give you a type of merchant cash advance with higher interest rates. So you got to be careful of that. And again, if you do not want to deal with those interest rates, then I'd recommend somebody like David Allen Capital, and we'll have extra resources as well down below in the description. But just expect there to be a 100K business annual gross revenue, not net. Business checking account, make sure to have that. And therefore, so the thing you want to know too about in general when you're dealing with short-term loans or cash advances, that there is a cost of paying back. But what you have to learn and realize is that, does the benefit up here outweigh the repayment that is down here? You always want to be up here in benefit, down here in repayment. If you're thinking about it in terms of like math, and if you were in a class taking algebra, calculus, or anything like that, right? It can be anywhere, chemistry, the sciences, and you had to put a graph together and show something linearly moving upward. On the y-axis, you go higher. On the x, you go the same, but it can change as well. And the thing is, you want to have the benefits and the y-axis coming up here, and then the repayment. If it increases, so be it. But as long as the benefit is up here, it's over the extended amount to pay back, it makes sense to move forward. Now, if you're a business owner who's like, well, I'm getting 6,000, but I got to pay 12,000 back about at a minimum, then it doesn't make sense to you to move forward. Okay, but there's no such thing as it being too expensive to everybody. And if you don't want to take on that debt, I would never push you to do something you shouldn't. I've spoken to so many people, in fact, today and yesterday, many who were like, I just can't do that right now because I don't want to go into that kind of debt. Or they're like, well, yeah, I can take it and I'm going to build, I have a restaurant and I'm going to build a new patio where I'm going to bring in an extra 100 people per day, which is going to increase my bottom line. I'm going to increase my revenue by 10 to 20,000 per month. So that extra $6,000 to $8,000 to $10,000 that they have to pay back because of their situation and the risk doesn't really say it's expensive to them. Now let's move forward and look through their business line of credit. Now, if you want to learn more about business line of credits and working capital and all this, there will be more programs I've already reviewed down below. Ones like Credit Suite, Fund and Grow, Bluevine, Fundbox, and that list goes on and on. So access cash when you need it with a line of credit. So what is it exactly? We'll read it off of here. Business line of credit is a revolving loan that allows access to a fixed number of capital, which can be used when needed to meet short-term business needs. A business line of credit is the best financing option when you need extra working capital to cover recurring business expenses or bridge cash flow gaps. With ongoing access to funds, you have the flexibility to withdraw only what you need when you need it and pay for only what you use. So you'll be prepared for whatever challenges and opportunities come your way. So keywords are when you need it and pay for only what you use. So you can withdraw. Let's say you get 100,000 approved for, and I'm not saying you will get approved for that. We have to take into account what you're doing with cash flow, revenue, sales, your credit score. Usually the more you get into a good to an excellent range, the more you can get above your monthly sales. So if you were doing like 10,000, you expected to get 100,000. That's not as realistic. We'll be flexible, but it's like if you're getting 10,000, maybe you can get up to like 20,000 or more or less, you can move in that direction. So just expect that to be the case. But if you're not in that range and you have a lower credit, then you will probably get up to like 95% of what you're doing or more or less, right? That's kind of how you can look at it. So benefits of it, revolving lines of credit from 6K to 100K, 12-month repayment term. So it's still within that short-term solution, resets after each withdrawal, automatic weekly payments as opposed to doing working capital, a loan, a cash advance. These are weekly. But again, even if it were daily, you're never going to be given something you can't handle. They're micro daily payments that are taken out of your account. They're fixed, so they're not fluctuating, and you don't know what you're getting from day to day and from month to month, and having to cause that going into a default. Because I've seen it time and time again. I speak to many of you, and I'm sorry, but it's like, it's hard for me to even go through that because some people are like, I need it for cash flow for emergency, and you cannot get a handle on it. Instant funding, get money in your account within seconds. See what happens when you hang out with me for an extended amount of time on a video. When you make a withdrawal 24/7, even one nights and weekends, a consolidated payment for all your withdrawals. Make one weekly payment on all withdrawals, avoiding the headache on multiple payment schedules. So that's one thing you have to take into an account is when it's automatic, you don't have to worry so much about going into your account and withdrawing and doing all these things manually. Access more funds automatically. Business credit building, revolving credit, no prepayment penalties, get more flexibility by paying off your line of credit anytime you'd like with no penalty or fee. Transparent pricing, use a SmartBox Capital comparison tool to get a comprehensive breakdown. And minimum eligibility, 1 year, 600 FICO, 100K, yes, in the business checking account. And a step-by-step process, we also have 3 steps there. Again, ways to use it: reopening your business, bridging cash flow gaps, covering payroll, hiring more employees. Unlike a term loan, a business line of credit allows you to run your business without having to apply for a new loan every time you need a bit of extra cash. And with ongoing access to working capital, you can plan for and better manage your business's future cash flow with less stress. Your line of credit can give you the boost you need to take advantage of opportunities when they arise. One of the main benefits is that it's revolving. You can access that credit line when you need it and pay it as you take it out, that interest only on that. How they're using it: we use money from OnDeck to consolidate our business credit card debt, help maintain the inside of the building, and buy some computers. We also use a line of credit to pay off maintenance fee for the air conditioning, so we've been able to use that funding to keep our business building going and our business running efficiently. So that's Brandy there. And so there's a little bit more of an idea of what people are using it for to sustain their business. When I have had vacancies in my home, without flexible financing, we could not be able to grow our business. A few more there. So here's just a few frequently asked questions. What is instant funding? It's the fastest and easiest way for small businesses owners to access working capital to run their business. OnDeck is one of the only lenders to offer business lines of credit with instant access to your funds. And one thing they can do too is when you get a working capital loan, and if you have great FICO and you have great requirements in like revenue, they'll allow you to, in like payment history and stuff like that, they'll allow you to also take on a business line of credit on top of that. So that's a very great advantage to get with them. How does it work? Unlike many online lenders, our line of credit is revolving. No draw fees, just a monthly maintenance fee. Funds replenish as you pay them back, and additional draws are consolidated into one loan with one easy weekly payments. Can I get a credit line increase? There are some times when you could really use access to additional funds based on your cash flow, net income, and payback history. You may be eligible for a credit line increase. All you need to do is call your dedicated loan advisor to learn more about it. Interest rate starts as 35.9% annual percentage rate. The total cost of your line of credit will vary based on a number of factors, including your personal and business credit scores, time in business, and revenue and cash flow. So here it is. How do business credit building work? Unlike most online lenders, we use soft pulls, and kind of went over that earlier, and so forth. So let me go down here and click on SBA PPP loan, and we'll round up this video. Thank you for being with me. Also, let me know in the comment section, like what's happening in your business. Have you ever tried to take out an alternative loan? Are you considering OnDeck? Are you not? Do you want to seek out my alternative options? One of which being David Allen Capital and their Bank Breezy program. Up to 25,000 and even up to 2 million. They have customer financing options, payment processing, and a lot more. So within this, loan amounts, and we know with the PPP at the time of this, it's not really open, but if it were to be, they are a solution. Loan amounts are up to 22.5x your average monthly payroll costs, or up to 3.5x for employees in the accommodation and food service industry, for a maximum of 2 million for second draw PPP loans and a maximum of $10 million, for first draw PPP loans. Rates and fees, 1% fixed interest rate and no additional fees of any kind, including no origination fee or prepayment penalties. Your term length, 5 years for PPP loans made prior to June of 2020. The term length is 24 months. Repayment, payment deferral period for PPP loan is dependent on if and when you apply for loan forgiveness. So eligibility for a PPP loan. I won't spend too much time on this, but this information is in there for a PPP loan. But you get with 500 or fewer employees, business including independent contractors, sole proprietors, self-employed individuals, and so forth, has 300 or fewer employees for a second draw. If you're looking at that, first and second there. Understanding PPP loan forgiveness, eligibility. PPP loans are eligible for forgiveness, including accrued interest. PPP loans are eligible for up to 100% forgiveness. And then forgivable amounts equal to the amount spent on allowed costs and covered period, 8 to 24 weeks after you receive your PPP loan funds, or the first day of your next payroll cycle. So there's a little bit of information there on the PPP loan. I won't spend too much time. PPP versus EIDL loans, though, this is another thing that you may be looking at with EIDL, as up until December 31st until they close. So you have that time, but by the time you're done, when you're watching this video, that might not be offered to you. So look at that for consideration. And here are just some FAQs on how it comes together. Can I get an OnDeck business loan in addition to a PPP loan? Yes, at OnDeck, we understand that these loans can serve to 2 different purposes, so we make it easy for you to apply. What is the payroll protection program? Stuff like that. Does this loan require any collateral? Paycheck protection program loans are backed by a federal loan guarantee. This is no collateral or personal guarantee required at all. So just take that into consideration. Unlike when you get with working capital loans, you can expect personal guarantees. Unsecured, you don't have to put any kind of collateral in, depending on your situation or depending on the program that you're going after. So let me go back into this review and we'll round up this video. Went into the business lines of credit for term loans and kind of like what you can push for MCAs traditionally. But if you want an alternative merchant cash advance solution, go through David Allen Capital. And I know you're in that if you're in that startup phase, there will be solutions for you down below in the description. You can check out for startup funding in different industries and all those resources. But again, make sure to pick up this checklist so you can be up to date on what's happening, what's changing, what's going on. Now, down here, we went through the requirements and stuff like that, and the different ways of using your funding. OnDeck Australian interest rates tends to be around 9.9%, 3.5% origination fee, 1.245% loan renewal fees. And to learn more, I left a little link you can check out. Again, this blog post down below in the description. 3-step application process, and we're going to go into that here, how it looks like. OnDeck Capital Jobs, if that was something you were looking at. The different reviews by OnDeck on Trustpilot and so forth. But let me go back over here, click on this, get started. And this is what you're going to expect. You have 4 categories: basics, your business, about you, and your documents. That's all you're being asked for. And so you're just going to go through here and answer how much financing do you think you may need. Put a number out. What this does too, if you're questioning this, and this is what I do in my process when we're talking in communication, but I'll ask even more things and I'll try to break things down for you. So when you go into your application, and if you know you can get approved, it'll go through much easier. But when you're asked how much financing you need, it tells us in the lenders, like if you're asking for 100,000, but your bank statements only show you're only doing like 10,000 per month, like we may not be able to work with that. We can only give you so much. And when you're asking for that, we can get an idea of what type of funding money you're going to be using it for and how soon you need it. How will you use the loan? Very important. First name, last name, best contact number, your email address, and so forth here. And then you can continue through this and fill out just business information, upload statements, put things together. And then you can go through like the about you, learn a little bit more about who you are, like what type of payments you're making, and just to make sure you're able to, make sure you return the money you're being loaned to. We want to know those things are happening. Just a few documents and you'll be ready to go. It's very simple. If you've been through filling out an online application, it's the same, more or less. You're going to be giving those applications to be set up with, and make sure you return them, and then you can get an approval, you can get a term, you can get a contract that shows what you can get approved for. And if you like it, you go with it. If you don't, you can decline. Now, coming back down here, Better Business Bureau, how much does it cost? There's no fees. We went through all that. Who's it for? Non-startup small businesses who are interested in term loans, business loans, lines of credit. You can even look through merchant cash advances. They've been a little bit more protective of that since COVID hit, but there will be options there for you, possibly an SBA PPP loan, beginners with no experience, or even getting into the alternative business lending field. And you meet those requirements with like a 600 plus FICO, more or less. If it can be moved down a little bit, even as low as 500 plus FICO in times. We've seen that here, but just expect that you have to have some time in business, even close to a year, a business checking account, 1 year time in business. But again, we are looking at things and seeing and evaluating your circumstances, but for the most part, this is all set in stone. So just make sure you go through that. Who's it not for? It can be if you're a startup, for the most part. The thing is, it's hard to get startup funding through these types of programs. There are other options, like I said, it's down below in the description if you want to learn more about that. But people not seeking the types of loans OnDeck offers, maybe you do not meet the FICO score, the annual gross revenue, the time in business. I know that's a drawback for a lot of people, but also the FICO scores. And if you have more bad credit scores, you want a 450 plus type of solution. Same day instant approval funding. Look to David Allen Capital, Bank Breezy. You can even get up to 2 million again. And there's other solutions too. Pick up that free checklist. If you haven't, pros and cons, 13 billion delivered to small businesses all across the world. Minimum eligibility requirements. You have a great chance of getting qualified and get a desired loan. Doing it also through working capital. You can even get maybe a business line of credit added onto that, depending on your circumstances. Dedicated US-based loan advisor, available every step of the way. Smart box capital comparison tool, multiple loans, you can get the right type of loan offer. Cons, no long-term loans as much so. Went away from somewhat of the merchant cash advance eligibility requirements and who you can get funded with because of things with COVID. SBA PPP not really open. If you're watching this, maybe it is open at that point. Alternatives, like I said, David Allen Capital, you have Fundera, Lenza, Lendio, Credit Suisse, Fund and Grow, the list goes on and on. There are far more. But like I said, again, check out David Allen Capital. They are one of my personal favorites. You can get up to 2 million incredibly fast within a day of approval, funds within as 1 to 2 days, more or less, depending on your circumstances. And you can use it as you choose. You can get 1 to 2x your monthly if you're going for the up to 2 million program, doing 20,000 plus per month in sales within the last 3 months, albeit the other requirements. You can get 1 to 2x. Payment history earns you more add-on funds are available, early pay discounts, getting good standing, continue withdrawing every 45 days. You would like to do that? Go ahead. DAC has 2 great options, as I've already said there. What did I like? Just a few things. Their smart box tool. I don't think we went through that as much, so let me come back to it. We don't have a little bit of time to go through it. It's okay. But we covered everything we needed to in this video. And we'll click here to see the smart box tool. OnDeck makes it easy to understand your loan terms before you sign on the dotted line. And smart box comparison tool is provided to help you understand the assets and assess the cost of your small business financing when you are given an OnDeck offer. Example, loan amount $75,000, disbursement amount $72,125. Your repayment amount is $82,500 term, repaid weekly in 12 months. So metrics, you can see some numbers here. So $9,375 is the total cost of your capital. The interest expense, $7,500. Origination fee, $1,875. Other fees could be 0 on that. Total cost, $9,375 is the cost of the capital. So what your advance to, and then what the origination fee is included, and that's always common what you're going to see. Your loan will have a weekly payment of $1,586.54. So if you were to break that down and do some numbers here, and we were only calculating based on a 5-day non-weekend schedule, so you're looking at this one at about $317 per day. Annual percentages, rates, APR of 24.20%, average monthly payment, repayment amount $2,500, terms in months, 12 months, average monthly payment $6,875, more or less is about right. And then cents on the dollar, 10 cents. And prepayment, get to see that. Does prepayment of this loan decrease the total interest or loan fees owed? Yes. So you get to see some metrics there and how this can give you a great evaluation, and you can go in there and apply. Okay, so I believe I've covered everything I needed to in this video. You got to see everything down to the pros and cons, alternatives, and I know it's a little bit of a lengthy video, but I wanted to make sure you got everything you needed to know about OnDeck and how it all works together. And if you want to look at my alternative solutions, such as David Allen Capital's up to 25,000, even up to 2 million, you can get over here with their business capital solution. When the SBA loan can't help, you can't get a PPP loan, an EIDL, any other type of loan, and you want to get fast, superior funding with no interest rates, no collateral, no hard credit checks to put down, then I highly recommend somebody like David Allen Capital to look through. Business must reside in the US. Personal score must be at least 500. This is for the up to 2 million, 450 for up to 25. And then a lot of industries have been served. Cost of capital is 50% less expensive than other places you'll go to, and even comparison with OnDeck. And just expect there to be, again, a payback. If it's expensive to you because there's no need, or you just can't pay you just don't think you can pay it back like that. It'll hurt your bottom line. But if you're somebody in that growth and expansion phase and you're like, yeah, this isn't, yeah, an $8,000 to $12,000 payback or even less, I can deal with that. And it's going to help your bottom line. It's going to increase your revenue, and you're going to keep yourself stable and afloat. Then this is where it makes sense. And this is how it gets in the online alternative lending world. Okay, so that's everything from me in this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them down below. My information in the description, so you can reach me on different channels. Email me, leave me a comment if you, again, need anything. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click on the bell notification icon so you don't miss a future video. Thank you. Bye.